שלנו לדורות מאז לעד ולתמיד לנצח.
Shalom and welcome to Real Israel Productions, the place where Israel's past and present meet. We're on the road to Hebron, one of the world's oldest cities and one of Israel's 4 holy cities. But before we go to Hebron, we pass through the city of Kiryat Arba. While in the Torah, Kiryat Arba and Hebron are the same city, in modern Israel they are not. You see, the city of Hebron is well over 4,000 years old, while the new modern city of Kiryat Arba is only approximately 40 years old. Let's go in and take a closer look. To my right is the modern city of Kiryat Arba. Kiryat Arba has around 8,000 Jewish residents. Behind me and to my left is the city of Hebron, which has a Jewish population of under 1,000 residents and almost 200,000 Arab residents. Today the road is pretty quiet, but this Shabbat, this road leading from Kiryat Arba into the city of Hebron is going to be jam-packed with close to 20,000 Jews. And they're all heading to Maarat Hamachpela in the city of Hebron. Come along with me to Maarat Hamachpela and I'll explain to you why. We've arrived at Maarat Hamachpela, the beautiful building you see behind me. And it's to this building that the thousands of Jews will come this Shabbat. But why this Shabbat? This Shabbat is Parashat Chayei. It is the parasha in which Avraham Avinu buys Maarat Hamachpela from Ephron HaChiti. The Maarat Hamachpela are the caves well below this building, in which the Avot, Imahot, and Adam and Chava are all buried. The building was built by Melech Hurdus, the King Herod, and it was built approximately 2,000 years ago. It's made up of stones. Some of them are 24 feet long and 3 feet high, massive stones. And the building has stood since the time of Beit Sheni. It is the only building that stands from the Tkufa Beit Sheni. It is therefore one of the oldest buildings in the world. But it's not about the beautiful building that brings Jews here. It's about the fact that it is Kivrei Avot. Our first stop is going to be right at the corner there. We're going to see something very, very special. Come along with me, I'll show you what I mean. I'm standing now in front of the corner of Maarat Hamachpela. To understand why I'm standing here before we go in, we need a little history. We know that after Avraham Avinu bought Maarat Hamachpela from Ephron, Hebron became a very important city in Jewish history. In fact, David HaMelech begins his melucha, begins to be king here in Hebron for the first 6 or 7 years of his reign. However, after the destruction of the second Beit HaMikdash, Hebron doesn't have a lot of Jews. During the second Beit HaMikdash, Jews did live here. In fact, this building that you see in front of you was built during the second Beit HaMikdash period. If you look closely at the stones, you can even see the stones look just like, the stones of the Kotel. That's because they were built at the same time period, around 2,000 years ago. But from that time on, Jews have not been welcome here in Hebron. In fact, for the last 2,000 years, the number of Jews in Hebron has gone from around 0 at some times, maybe 100, 200, the maximum ever being around 700 Jews which live here today. We know that the Rambam Maimonides visited Hebron in the year 1167. And he talks about what it looked like. And the famous Jewish traveler Binyamin Mitudela visited here a couple of years after the Rambam and tells us how, if you paid a little money, you could get someone to actually take you down into the caves. And he himself went down into the caves of the Avot, something no one can do today. But why am I standing here? You see, for many years, the Jews were not allowed to go into Maarat Hamachpela. The people, the Arabs, who had control of Maarat Hamachpela would not let the Jews in. And the only place they could go were up the first 7 steps, which I'm climbing now. Very old and very ancient. And only really from this spot could the Jews daven. And that's why this spot became very holy. And many people who come to Hebron will daven here first. Because for hundreds of years, this is as close as a Jew could get to the Kiryat, to the caves of Maarat Hamachpela. But Baruch Hashem, in 1967, we know that Sahal, the Israeli army, took Hebron back. And now Hebron, while being an Arab city, is in Jewish hands. So we can go into Maarat Hamachpela. Come inside and join me. What an amazing experience to be able to come to Maarat Hamachpela and daven by the kever of Avraham Avinu. Jews for centuries have come here because Kabbalah tells us that this is the gateway to Gan Eden. Davening here, not only are we davening by the Avot and Imahot, we're also davening by the closest place on earth to Gan Eden. We know, for example, that Kalev ben Yefuneh came here to daven, to be saved from the Meraglim. And for centuries, Jews have come here to daven for themselves, their children, and for all of Klal Yisrael. We know that the Avot and Imahot are buried across from each other. Some across from the kever of Avraham, we find the kever of Sarah. Come inside, we'll take a look. Directly across from the kever of Avraham Avinu is the kever of Sarah Imenu. Behind the mechitzah here is a wall which leads to the ohel of Yitzchak, the kever of Yitzchak and Rivka. However, that has been set aside for a mosque, and only 10 days a year can Jews go in there to daven. This Erev Shabbat and Shabbat are 2 of those 10 days. And the thousands of Jews who will be here on Shabbat will have that unique opportunity to visit all the kfarot, including the kever of Yitzchak and Rivka. I'm standing now in front of the kever of Yaakov Avinu. And as we mentioned before, the Avot and Imahot are buried across from each other. So right across from the place where Yaakov Avinu is buried, we find the kever of Leah Imenu. It's an incredible feeling to stand here in front of the kever of Yaakov and Leah at a special time to think about tshuva, to think about becoming more like the Avot, becoming as close as possible to living the lives that they lived. But this isn't the only place in Hebron where Jews come to daven, and have come to daven for centuries. I want to take you now to a very special Beit Knesset, very close by. Come along and we'll see why.